On this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock.
No clicks, no reward? AdSense rewarded ads show users full page image or video ads.
We'd like to unsubscribe from Google's new Merchant Center feature.
And we discover something new coming to google.com on desktop.
All on today's show.
Welcome, you are listening to Marketing O'Clock. Just stay tuned. Digital marketing news, but let's get specific. Digital ads, SEO and analytics, social media and more. Pretty much everything that'll make your website perform. With new shows every Friday. We give you the news with sass and puns and definitely hot takes. Thank you for tuning in. You know what time it is. It's officially Marketing O'Clock. Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.
Hey there, I'm Christine Zernheld.
AKA Shep.
I'm Jess Budd,
And I'm Greg Finn.
and it is officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on April 11th, 2025.
And per our show from 2 weeks ago, we have delivered on thick water. This was something that we saw in an example where Google was, I believe, this was the Bing example.
Yeah.
Where Bing was putting ads within, I think it was people also asked for something featured. And we started asking what thick water is. We have Thicket Clear Advantage. This is a mildly thick
Mildly thick.
water. So let's see. I'll pour you guys a glass and I'll just drink out of the other one.
From the outside, if it didn't say thick water, it looks like a normal water to me.
So let's grade the pour. Tables, get a close up here and make sure you can see all the little dents.
Oh, no,
That
that's
doesn't
thicker.
look that thick.
Yeah, it does. Look at
It
it
looks
go.
like syrup. I thought it was going to be Jell-O.
So they had thicker ones, but the package was much larger. It was more expensive. Thank you so much. I also made sure to purchase unflavored because I thought we should really enjoy this experience.
Why did we only did 2 glasses?
I would call
He's
this
going to
like-
drink straight out of
Okay.
the
I'm gonna
bottle.
drink out of the bottle. I feel like this is a consistency of maybe like a very viscous motor oil.
Can we talk about
Like you can't get a drop. See how it's just, there's
There's no nose on this.
what's the
whatsoever.
nutrition calories?
5 calories.
Of what? Of thickener, I
I thought
suppose.
that was a joke. I thought there wasn't going to be any.
Okay. So do you want to try this on the count of 3?
Cheers.
and then
Well,
we pour?
cheers, yeah.
Cheers.
Give it a
To
whiff.
your health.
Oh my God.
Greg is chugging in.
Do you need a bag?
He's going to throw up. He's going to throw up. I can't watch. I can't watch. I can't watch. You're going to ruin your computer. Stop. Why did you have to do that?
It tastes like somebody else's saliva.
Yeah, it does. I wish you hadn't said that. I'm going to gag.
Oh my
I'm going to
God.
gag.
It tastes like other people's saliva. Like, that's not my saliva.
Oh, it has like a little hint of vanilla.
That is absolutely
I'm not going back.
disgusting. Take another sip.
I'm not
Take
going
it,
back.
you have to.
Do you see if you taste the saliva?
I did. It's not right.
And it is thick. Imagine going
That is
thicker.
off my eye. I'm crying. Like, it was so hard. I
How
almost
thick
threw
does
up.
it
Just drank
get?
that whole thing. This
That
is a
was-
2 out of 5, I think.
I had 2 sips and I was like,
Oh.
okay.
How are you?
I'm not okay.
I feel like we got to try the 5.
Take another sip of that.
No, I
shit.
don't want to.
You can do one more sip for your health.
It's like, you know how kids' toys are scented?
Smells like glue.
Glue smells good. This
One
doesn't
more
smell
sip.
good.
You got another
Yeah.
sip in you. It's like the consistency of saliva too. It's so disgusting. Did you
Oh.
get somebody else's?
Yeah,
saliva?
it's like
It doesn't taste.
it doesn't belong in there.
It tastes like
foreign.
glue.
That's awful.
I think glue tastes better than that. I really apologize to all of the audio only listeners right now. This is.
I almost lost.
Are you okay?
No, I'm like still.
Why did you chug it like that?
I don't know. It's
Man had a point to prove.
Wow, that's
Oh.
terrible. All right, let's give it reviews.
0. You got to give it a 1. It's what it says. It's
Nah,
thick water.
There's
Negative
no
one.
way that's not bad for you.
I'd rather die than drink another cup of that. I would.
You may do both.
No.
We need a replay of him.
He could go all the way.
Yeah. I thought I could get it, and then by the end, it tasted so like acidic.
Oh.
Like I don't know where they milked that out of somebody.
And that was like 10 ounces, right? That was a significant chug.
Whew.
Okay, that ruined my day.
Well, if there's something to cheer you up, Shep, is the fact that you, as a human being, are definitely not a thick person. You're a smart person.
What?
You're not thick. Thick.
I thought it was
No,
about my
like
weight.
thick, like in the head. In the head. Like if you're, that's a synonym
Like
for
British people, yeah.
Yeah, like that bloke's
Like
thick.
stubborn. Yeah.
But you shouldn't be thick either, and you should look at AdsVisor.
Advisor.
We talked over and over and over and over again about the fact that you can sync up all of your data sources, and you can do so now for the first time ever since AdsVisor has been around at an affordable price. They don't try to shake every cent from your cushions. And if you do not have dynamic reports, again, you are behind. With AI, with everything, you need to free up time to hit business objectives, to go work on your company, work on other initiatives inside of your corporation. But I'm not even going to talk about that today, Shep, because the AdsVisor GPT is a phenomenal tool to help you actually do better in your accounts, see more of what is happening, and frankly, can give you hints and suggestions. This is what optimization score would be if it were actually good. And we have this sunk up with Marketing Collect, so there's no client data that I'm sharing here. But we had asked, hey, how has my performance changed looking at February, then looking at March performances? Write sentences to tell a client. And that's what we asked. And we run some subscriber campaigns in Google Ads, to be clear. AdsVisor gave the answer. Here's what we found in GA4. In February, website attracted approximately 275 sessions and 360 new users. However, March, both metrics saw a drop. Goes on to explain it. Something that you could easily copy paste, still tweak if you want, but something phenomenal from GA4. Now we also have Google Ads sunk up, and it says during February, your ads generated X amount of clicks, 242,000 impressions, all the different conversions and the full cost. And then it says in March, performance dipped slightly with 231 clicks, 181 impressions, and 75 conversions. The return on ad spend remained consistent and all that information. So you just saved yourself having to go into GA4, which everybody should be celebrating.
Nobody wants to.
I'd rather drink more thick water.
Me too. No, I actually. Not only that, it pulls from Google Search Console and says, hey, from an SEO perspective, we received this many clicks in February. In March, it decreased, but the CTR stayed steady. It gives you the ability to save time, not just on not making reports, but on getting quick intelligence. If your client or your boss asks for information on a certain time, it will give that. And then Kelly went on and tried to test it and said, yeah, back it up with data. And it just spits out all this data. And it's like, here's the problem. The sessions dropped by this. New users declined. Here's the recommendation. Ramp up content. Revisit acquisition channels. Add a refresh landing page. And there's detailed data about how to do each one. Another one is like, hey, improve your Google Ads return on ad spend. It gives all the different recommendations on how to do so. And it's like, hey, also boost your SEO visibility. Identify some of the declining keywords. Optimize some of your titles, descriptions, and all that. So it's a great tool to help you save time to do what you do best, which is managing ads, managing your digital marketing campaigns, creating more content, and work and focus on the things that matter, not necessarily a soundbite or a clip that your clients need. AdsVisor GPT has you covered. Just one more reason why you need AdsVisor. AdsVisor.com.
Google is expanding Discover feeds to Google desktop homepages. This was announced recently at the search event in Europe, and people got screenshots of it. And Google says that they've been testing this for years, but kicked up testing over the past several days. And there are screenshots in the slides from Clara Soteris and Gianluca Fiorelli that they tweeted this week, and Barry turned this into an article. So it looks pretty good. Have they really been testing this for years? Like, Discover for me is an industry plant. This makes a lot of sense. I cannot believe it took 7 years. What was the plan with Discover? They say since 2018, it's been available in mobile apps and mobile version of Google.com. Who has that? I have the Chrome app. Most people use Safari. It's only like Google phone users.
Mhm.
Greg was the only person I know who ever used it. And now you don't because you have an iPhone.
Yeah, it's a Pixel thing. Honestly. Oh, I would assume there might be some people that use Google app. Do you use Google app?
Sure don't.
No.
No, I'm a Google person, but I use the Chrome app.
Yeah. So when you have a Pixel phone, you can't get rid of the Discover. So whenever you swipe left, it's always there. And it does a good job of finding curated stories for you. For you, it might be a lot of like Disney, Taylor Swift, Beyonce.
This is not annoying to me. I think this is a good idea. I don't know why it's taken this long. The Google homepage of all the slimy things they do, why aren't they serving people content there? I just don't understand what the downside is.
I think for a long time, their mantra was like, hey, no ads ever. And then,
Well,
oh yeah, we're seeing 3 now. But to me, I guess a concern I would have if I was Google is, am I going to make this page look like an MSN?
yeah.
You know?
I don't hate MSN though.
No, I think this is a,
Well, I mean, I do from like a search experience, but I don't hate that you like log into your browser and see some news stories from the day. I don't watch the news. It's kind of nice to know what's going on a little bit. And especially if it's something that's interesting to you. And you could probably turn this off if you wanted to. And as an advertiser, I think this is fantastic. They have been trying to sell us. Shortly after Discover feeds were released, we had Discovery campaigns and they were kind of geared towards that and they were going to run in the Discover feeds. And we're all like, who cares? Demand Gen now, Discover, Gmail. Nobody uses Discover. This is going to make a lot more people use Discover. And I feel like it's going to make Demand Gen campaigns a lot better for B2B people
for all people.
because more people are going to be on the computer. Yeah.
100%. This is a monumental change. Google has been very, very stingy with any other content that's on. Every now and then you'll see, hey, Pixel phone, it's whatever the Google Assistant is. But those are typically very small text ads. And it's really only like a Google Doodle that punches that page up. This is going to be a massive shift and I would assume it's going to be for web as well.
Yeah.
I mean, mobile web.
It'll just be interesting to see what happens. But this doesn't bug me. I don't know why they didn't do this sooner.
No.
Of all the other things they've done to make people mad.
And if have never seen success with Demand Gen, maybe you can try a desktop Discover campaign. Use lookalikes. This is massive for advertisers.
I'm ready.
You look ready.
What else is happening?
I don't know if we're ready for this one. We have a Higman here. He posted on X, whoa, this is wild. Google is today automatically opting everyone into grabbing all of your marketing emails and then turning them into ads? ? Am I reading this right? He says. And sir, I think you are, as long as you read everyone as everyone using Merchant Center. So this is positioned as a very positive thing, letting Google use information, quote, from marketing emails available through your site to then showcase your business and products to shoppers across Google. But here's what you need to know. This was starting April 3rd, so that is in the past. Merchant Center users were automatically opted in to the marketing content usage. You can opt out. So if you didn't know that, go ahead and do it if you want. What it is, the meat of it here is that Google will collect and display relevant content from your marketing emails in search, shopping, tab, and more. No idea what the more is. So it includes sales, promotions, social media links, product announcements, things like that. And of course, they're saying that they're saving you time because they're pulling in the most relevant information. But like, do we trust that?
No.
Thank you. Like, do we need to take a vote? I think it's a resounding no. So I hope somebody tests this out and has great success, or at least lets us know how it's going. But I don't think anyone here is that brave. I'm pretty sure we would all opt out of this. It just seems like a complete lack of control. And you're just sticking my social media links in there. I want you to buy my stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want you to follow me. I mean, sure, you can also follow me, but buy my stuff.
So you opt out in Merchant Center?
It doesn't say. I would guess so. This was just like a screenshot of an announcement, but it is for Merchant Center users.
It was one of the least helpful emails I've ever received in my life. To be fair.
Saying a lot.
And I get a lot of unhelpful emails.
Yeah, not a lot of details here, but a whole lot of positivity.
The smell of your guys' water is making me nauseous.
Can you smell it from
No,
where
can
you
keep it-
are?
can keep it there. Keep me on my toe. Oh,
Should we
so
just put a wick
disgusting.
in it and light it? I think it would stay.
Seriously?
It's like the sidewalls are
Sick.
just bad. You can see exactly where you It's like stuck there.
It's viscous.
Please,
Don't have
please.
more.
Ugh.
If you don't make it through the show, one of us is going to have to do organic, and we don't want to.
Me either. Interesting news. The Google AdSense rewarded ads beta has more insight to it, according to Search Engine Roundtable. And this was announced back in 2022, but apparently this is a different beta. It's a new version of rewarded ads. I put this in the main news, not because of what it is, but almost because this is something you might want to avoid as an advertiser, if that makes sense. So AdSense will have a button that allows you to unlock something specifically. Maybe it's some content or some area where you can get a download, but you have to click to get the reward. And you get this massive interstitial that shows up on your device, which to me reminds me of a YouTube ad where you see a countdown and it's like the reward's coming in 10 seconds. And then there's a countdown and you can see the video.
Or like an ad in a game app, like casual gaming. You get these all the time. We're like, oh, you ran out of lives, but you can get one more if you watch this for 30 seconds. It's like one of those.
Yeah, but I'm not a gamer, so I live vicariously.
Is this an ad for Google products or other Google features?
It will be an ad from advertisers.
Yeah, this
So
is just an example.
you may, as an advertiser, want to test the efficiency when something like this rolls out of like people are forced to do this. It's not like a typical YouTube ad where you're going to be targeting like off of a keyword or a placement, or I'm assuming you're still going to be able to target off of like the audience, and maybe that would hit there. But the fact that you have to kind of watch this while waiting to get the premium stuff, I would assume things wouldn't convert that well.
Yeah.
That's just why I include it in the main news.
Do you know how many games I've downloaded because I watch them get played while I'm trying to wait for a life in another game?
That actually works.
It works. I found this great new game called All in Whole, and you literally
Oh
are a
my
hole.
God.
And
That
you know you
sounds-
collect.
I don't like
I know it sounds
That
terrible,
sounds-
but you collect objects, and the hole gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and
I'm
you
out.
like it's a race against time. It's got a cute little gopher guy on it. He's purple.
I'm out.
It's really
That's like
fun.
that sounds like Bonnie Blue.
I think it's just like bad AI wrote it, but it's fun.
Okay. And to me, this is an interstitial, but the caveat, as you may well know, Google is against intrusive interstitials and they want you to use banners. So the key difference is you have to click a banner to get this intrusive interstitial, which I would say. So it's almost like a user is opting into this.
So you researched why if they would allow it on other people's sites?
Well, yeah, I'm like, this is like an
Seems so
interstitial when I
hypocritical,
first
yeah.
saw it, but because the fact that you don't actually just get your phone taken over with this YouTube-esque ad, you have to like click to get there. That makes sense. So what I would also warn people is if you're like, oh, Google's doing this, I should do this myself and not have people click to do it, you are going to be breaking that intrusive interstitial. You should have people click, watch the video, and then download, but you not just force them to watch the video.
And now for this week's
Cool tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners and is really, really cool. This week's Cool Tool makes legal less of a big deal. It is the privacy. I tried to just keep going so you wouldn't.
I'll take the thick water. over that.
Yeah, we'll see about that. It is the privacy policy generator from User Centrics. In just a few minutes for free, you can get a fully customized privacy policy based on what you're actually doing with your site and marketing efforts, which is awesome. It's available in English and Italian so far, but more are coming. And it has a great FAQ if you're just looking for some answers on common compliance questions. Great resource there. So shout out to Hannah Kupzova for sharing this one on LinkedIn. She's a great follow, by the way. And again, that is the privacy policy generator from User Centrics. As always, we'll have the link in our newsletter and on Discord, so pick your poison and check it out. Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you. We simply deliver the take for your consumption. We give no opinions. We don't influence. You make the call.
This week's Take of the Week comes from the one and only Glenn Gabe. I saw this over on LinkedIn and he says, say it with me. Just link the heck out. I don't know if we need a cease and desist against him. I feel like he's just too bright of a mind to win that. Do we have heck trademarked by any chance?
I don't know if we do. We probably should.
Definitely not.
Okay. Well, he had a great article called When Links Go Wrong, Why News and Media Publishers Need to Embrace Earned Links and Ditch No-Follow. First off, covers it on his YouTube channel, Glenn Gabe. Go subscribe. You can see in his background his wide breadth of clock skirts right there. First
They
and
are
foremost.
right there in
You
his
scroll
living
up, you
room.
see the bigger version.
Nice.
And he breaks this all down in detail with the article. But the main thing he was saying is that if you are a publisher and if you are using content from somebody, if you're talking about something, you should A, not only link to somebody, which is a no freaking brainer, or B, link to them with a regular link.
Mhm.
If you're really that paranoid that somebody's going to leave your site forever, have it open in a new window, target blank. But I think this is a massive issue. I can't tell you how many times people have asked me for a quote or something like that, and I've given it to them, and you just see Greg Finn, Cypress North, and it's like, wouldn't it be better for the user to see who this is?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Google broke publishers in a way. We talked about it a few years back where somebody's like, oh, we're just going to no-follow everything on our site. It's like, you publishers should be the one spreading the love. Everybody's like so down in the hurting with AI overviews, and we see these independent publishers that got hit with the helpful content update. I think Google has broken the way that links work and the way that honestly people think. To even think it, have it cross your mind that I wouldn't link out to somebody that was the source because I'm worried that I might help them or I might be seen as me passing value to somebody is such an asinine concept to me. And there was an example from the Indian Express, because Glenn wrote an article that we talked about the AI translations and how it was using at mass sort of AI translations, which you're not supposed to do, to really see an increase in traffic. So the Indian Express wrote an entire article based on my approach and research, according to Glenn, and they name me, provide my tweet about the topic, and it's just embedded tweet, yet don't link to the actual article that spawned their own article. They're simply linking to my tweet and not the article containing my actual research and analysis, which would be extremely valuable for the readers to view. Seriously, what the heck is going on here? They wouldn't even have a story if it wasn't for my article. OMG.
He's getting fired up.
I'm getting fired up because why wouldn't you do these things? And it's just another thing that when you have these policies, it's easier for people to think, well, I don't want to upset Google. And honestly, you are hurting everybody by doing that. You're hurting people by withholding a link like the Indian Express is. Yeah, if people want more, you're not going to be able to get more detailed than Glenn Gabe. Nobody can. Literally nobody can.
Mhm.
So link to the man and let people get more content. Guess what? It's great for your readers. If you want to say, I'm talking about this story, cite the freaking story. Not like, it's just incredible that I understand there might be some stupid policy that some dumb publisher has to say no follow everything. And part of it is the fact that you have all these independent people helping jump on and publish stuff. And I'm a contributor to Forbes. I can get you a backlink. And I understand some of the rationale behind it, but that's your own fault for not vetting your stupid contributors. But you're breaking the internet and you are hurting other publishers by doing this. And the funniest thing is it always happens with publishers. It's the publishers that are ruining the internet. But check it out. He's got a whole bunch of great stuff, and you can watch the video. I would tell you to. He is very funny with the way he breaks it down. Probably better than I am. I
can't
was
wait.
a little too angry.
Now it's time for this week's Pew Pew Lightning Round. At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
Advisor.
All right, and before we get into the lightning round, let's talk a little bit more about this week's sponsor, AdsVisor, because a new update to the Google Sheets integration just rolled out. You heard it here first, people. So what is new? Row-level filters, for one. Marketers can now apply filters directly to the rows of selected metrics and breakdowns from their connected accounts. So you can filter, say, Facebook ads data by campaign name, contains something, and/or you can and/or that with a spend greater than 0. So you can really focus in on what is most important to you when you're pulling your reporting. They have also introduced flexible date ranges, so goodbye fixed time frames, hello flexibility. And this one was born of user feedback. So with this update, date ranges are now dynamic. You can enter your own number of days, weeks, and months, which is a no-brainer. And I just love when tools listen to their users and make improvements. So kudos to you for that one, AdsVisor. By the way, Google Sheets is just one of 3 supported destinations. Greg already talked about ChatGPT. It also integrates with Looker Studio. And the best part is that all 3 of those are included in the base price. Other tools make you pay for add-ons. AdsVisor does not. It's truly amazing how much you get for as little as $25 a month. And if you don't believe me, you can get a 14-day trial for just 99 cents. So head on over to adsvisor.com. That's ADZVISER.com to learn more.
First up in the paid universe this week, this is kind of an extra little ICYMI, but Thomas Assel posted this week. He said, did you know that you can use lookalike and language targeting on ad group levels for display campaigns, which I did know. But he says, hear me out. Since you can combine and select channels for demand gen campaigns, it has opened up so many doors. So he is arguing that it's not really an argument, it's true. Because you have the channel control and because you have lookalikes at the ad group level or whatever level you want to do, you can now have like a display ad group with lookalike targeting, just like you used to be able to do, or you could do the same with Gmail, YouTube, any of the other channels. So I think this is a really good idea and I'm excited to test it, especially with the desktop Discover thing. What is wrong with me?
Didn't we talk about this with PPC Greg a few weeks back?
On the show?
Where we have product segmentation with demand gen, but then we have channel reporting in PMAX.
I just hadn't made. Did he talk about lookalikes for
I talked about
Gmail?
Oh no, I guess we didn't bring the lookalike.
That's
into
his
it.
point here.
That makes sense.
So now you used to only have lookalikes for
Just general
demand. I
gen.
keep wanting to say Discover. You used to only have lookalikes for demand gen, but now you have those different channel controls. So you can really have a display campaign with lookalikes again,
Yes.
just like the good old days.
Amazing.
Next up from Remy Carajos on LinkedIn, Meta Ads just released the simplest yet powerful feature, mobile phone number verification. It is basically a one-time passcode to force them to verify mobile phone numbers before submitting the form. So if you have this turned on, you will probably get less form submissions, but hopefully more qualified form submissions. So anyone in lead gen, probably worth a test. Brahm is letting us know this week that Meta is now auto-appending UTM parameters for all Meta ads when you don't manually add them.
So just making them up?
Yeah. Well, they said for source, they can be FBIG, MSG, depending on what network it's on. So I feel like people might want to like adopt those in their own campaigns now. It would probably make sense to use it as a standard. Medium is going to be paid.
Ugh.
Campaign will be your ID, your campaign ID. Content will be the ID of your ad. Term will be the value. Term will be the ID of your ad set. And then it says UTM ID, but there's nothing associated with that in this post. So yes, if you don't set them up yourself, they will be.
I don't hate this.
I don't hate it, but I hate the medium being paid because it doesn't align with like the Google default.
Yeah,
It'd be nice for filtering purposes.
Yeah.
you can still filter with 2. You can do regex and filter paid and CPC. I think for
That's
people
annoying,
that aren't advanced and are just running stuff, it's going to be a big deal. By the time they're like, oh, this is actually working, I might,
Yeah.
want to bring somebody on board on the team to help do it. They'll have actual information. So I think this is a positive.
And if you want to set it up manually, you can still do CPC. It's just if you don't put it in.
My stomach hurts, guys.
It's
Can't
not
imagine
good.
why.
Yeah.
It sort of grows on you, though.
No,
by the time-
no, please, please, please. Stop! It's disgusting. I can feel it in my throat. The only thing I can compare it to, did you guys ever get the flu mist back in the day?
No.
There was like a year they had a mist instead of a shot. You could get it up your nose. It was very
Mist up your nose?
Yes.
And then would it like drip down the back like this?
Yeah, I feel like maybe I was a part of some like crazy government experiment because every time I bring this up, nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I got the flu mist and it lingered.
Look at you now, though.
Do you have another sip?
I was going to go for it
You
just because we were
should.
talking about it. Disturbed. That time it tasted like walking into a room with your mouth open. Like you just taste the room.
I know exactly what you mean.
Thank you.
Exciting story here. Google has updated its ads policies around suspensions. So nothing is changing about the enforcement or the actual rules. They're just, the page is different to add more clarity. So they have a new section about which policies are egregious, which is one of my favorite words. Can't spell it without Greg. And there is a more detailed FAQ section. So if you have any questions about what the sneaky stuff you're doing, go check it out. Chris Cabanas has a new article on Search Engine Land called Dealing with Google Ads Frustrations, Poor Support Suspensions, and Rising Costs. He starts with, Google Ads has 718 reviews on Trustpilot with a 1.1 star rating.
That's so low.
They should put their store rating on all their ads.
That would be great. You're auto opted into the seller ratings thing in Google Ads.
Yeah, they should do it for themselves.
He says that's a shockingly low score for a platform that has helped countless businesses grow and created entire careers in digital marketing. So in this article, he's talking about some of the biggest problems that lead to those bad ratings, like poor customer support, decreased value, yada, yada, yada. So definitely check this out if you want to feel heard as an advertiser.
And Ginny actually just responded to this update, or story rather, and said, thanks for tagging me in on this, Chris. I'm familiar with many of these concerns from my years prior to joining Google and now have an internal perspective as well. Barry was like, on its new, he was like, did Ginny actually fully switch over to the dark side? He might not have said dark side. I said that. I don't think she ever will. I think deep down, she is an advertiser.
Yeah, I
she's
think
one.
She's the
She's
reason we
working
got
for
those
us.
good PMAX updates.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might be one of the only people who's ever actually run a Google Ads campaign at Google. But went on to say there's ongoing efforts to improve experiences and outcomes for the millions of businesses and agencies around the globe that use Google Ads. That includes scalable support, insights, and guidance to address advertisers' needs. One current example is a high priority effort to dramatically improve how we address account suspensions. And then she's got a bunch of support. So hopefully Google is on it and Ginny is bringing more magic to us advertisers. All right. And in the organic news this week, first up, we have a video, I guess. It's from the Creator Insider, the world's worst YouTube channel. It is YouTube's own creator channel. It is awful. I can't watch another one of these. I just can't do it. They don't use chapters. They are so difficult to watch. They are the least personable people ever. They don't actually try to make real conversation. They're just like, they have these preset questions. We have better production
Yeah.
than
But it's just
YouTube.
so ironic.
Absolutely awful. I just can't believe you don't use chapters. You're like, hey, everybody should use chapters. Guess what? You have all these features and you have news about how views are counted and you don't use chapters. It's just the blind leading the blind over there. And the main blind is Neil Mohan. Anyway, the way that views are counted on shorts will change. YouTube is going to count the number of time a video starts to play. So not necessarily based on time watched. You will be able to still go through your metrics and see those engaged views, but they're now going to make it basically the same as Instagram and TikTok. There's also going to be more powerful editing, better template stickers, and a better editor in general. There were a couple screenshots of that at least in the video. So good luck. You can go watch the whole thing there if you feel like you need to fall asleep immediately. Also from Govind Singh Panwar, he spotted Google testing a new full width design for business profiles. I haven't seen this before. If you look quickly at the two examples, one is for a gymnastics and fitness location, and it takes up the full above the fold content of quite a lot of real estate. And then the one where you can see it on a black screen, it is the normal one. So which one do you like better?
I don't mind the big one for this example when it's like the name of the place in the search. Is that
Jess?
not what you wanted me to say?
Oh, I was just wondering.
I like the look of the full width if you're Googling like the name of the business, but there's no link to the website.
Oh.
That was my point. I think this looks cool, but you use all this extra real estate and you can't put a link to the freaking website, but you can in this little thing that's on the right rail.
We're sure it's not cut off underneath, right?
I mean, it might be there, but
I
I'm
see
just
the
looking
little
about
line
the fold.
though. I think, yeah.
And I think this looks great. This looks so cool. But if you're trying to get somebody to your website, I honestly don't know what the heck to do with this.
Yeah.
Is the title clickable maybe?
Maybe.
I doubt it though. I feel
But
like because it says website when it's on the side.
It's just
Ah.
when we saw, hey, getting people off of Google is a necessary evil, that quote from former Google exec that we talked about last week. This is like prime example. Oh, look, we made it bigger for you. Guess
Yeah.
what? Everything you do now lives on Google.
Yeah.
0 click.
Those kids are crushing it on the parallel bars, though.
Yeah.
Great strength.
I'm glad they're getting such a prominent feature.
All right. And in more Discover news from Glenn Gabe, he says, is Discover important for your business? Heads up. The latest One UI update rolled out to my Samsung Galaxy S23, and swiping right now does not show Discover. It only shows Samsung news. So it seems like Samsung is trying to make their own content. Obviously, they'll probably try to monetize it at some point. But Pixel, I'm sure, is still going to be Discover. Samsung may take away some of that Discover usage, though. So something to look at. And what I would say is a funny story is OpenAI is looking to purchase a startup, Products.io is the name of it. Or sorry, IO Products. And OpenAI is obviously Sam Altman's baby. Guess who owns the startup?
Not Sam Altman.
Nope, wrong. Sam Altman. It's like you're like, oh, I'm eyeing to buy my own startup for $500 million.
Is that even allowed?
Honestly, I don't know what's allowed anymore in this current climate. OpenAI was set up as a nonprofit. And at one point, Sam's like, no, it's going to be profit, and just switched it to profit. And all these people invested in this company that was a nonprofit, and you could just switch it to profit. So I guess he can do whatever he wants.
Well, if they invested in it, they get the profits. Who's going to complain about that?
I mean, he also didn't have Scarlett Johansson's consent to
She's
use
the
that
one, right?
her voice.
Yeah.
Asked Scarlett Johansson, she said no, and then still launched it anyway. And it sounded quite like Scarlett Johansson, at least to my uneducated ears.
My ears are pretty educated in those things, and it sounded like her.
So yeah, I guess you just do
Just
whatever you
buying
want.
himself.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. All right. Something that's not so great is that Google now has more links that are in the things to know. This looks like it's a AI flavor of a search result. It says generative AI is experimental. It's got all those typical link citations, but there are some new blue links embedded right within the answers. For example, I can hit schema markup, and I know they took it from a website. I can click the normal link citation to get there. But if I click the underscored markup that's in the things to know, guess where I go? Another Google search.
Oh.
So they're bypassing the originator of the content yet again. And they're going to say, oh, more people are doing Google searches than ever before. Not on purpose.
You're making
Yeah, is
Not
that
on
a zero
purpose.
click search? You stay?
Or you just stay on Google.
Yeah.
Yeah. But guess what? You're clicking on something that came from a source. And when you click on the link, you don't go to the source, you go to a Google search.
And you think you're going to the source. The way
You
this
100%
looks,
think
yeah,
you're going to the
yeah,
source.
you think you're going.
And honestly, if this went to the source, that would be an amazing use case, not just for publishers, but for you, Google, to say, you took this content from somewhere. People are interested in learning more about it. What they don't want to do is go back to Google and get another one of these ready generative AI experiences.
Right. I'm going to look at that and I'm going to be like, oh, schema markup. Let me go back and just Google that myself.
Oh, this water
No.
smells so bad. Maybe it's just that story just
Have another sip.
amplified it.
Please don't. Please.
We might finish this by the time we're done. I'm still
Ugh.
going when you guys aren't looking. Just
Every
to prove
sip
a
is
point.
worse than the
It was
last.
also my cup.
I switched it. I could see
Yeah,
all
but you
the
had that
slime.
flu mist, so you're not spreading germs.
No, you had the slime. The slime is still on your side. I just extra slime.
What
on
about
my
the
side.
backwash?
This is
it's
thick water.
floating on top.
No, there ain't no backwash. All right.
I
So
also barely drank it.
Have another sip.
No.
All right. Google AI mode is gaining search for images where you could ask questions along with the image. I think this is phenomenal. As much as I hate AI overviews, I think AI mode could be the future of Google in general, not just standard Google search. In the example that they have, somebody takes a look at their bookshelf, grabs a bunch of books that they enjoy and says, these are some of my favorite books. What else would I like? And you can just talk it in and use the image, and it will go through and understand what those books you like are and give you new recommendations. So that'd be cool. You own a beer store, you could be like, hey, what's your favorite beer? And be like, these are my favorite beers. Which of these IPAs would I like the most?
Yeah, that's cool.
Google Search Console is updating its Merchant Opportunities Report. It used to be called the Search Console Shopping Tab Listings Report. It is now the name is the Merchant Opportunities Report. Same thing now, whatever.
It's
Google,
a lot easier to say.
Yeah. Google is also touting their spam blockage. Apparently, they blocked 240 million fake reviews, 70 million edits, 12 million fake listings in 2024. I feel like I'm not going to have a blockage for a while after drinking this water.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Stop.
Google search is showing more AI overviews. According to the tools, the increase is ranging from 5 to over 30% of searches where there are AI overviews. There's a whole bunch of charts that Barry Schwartz has over at Search Engine Roundtable. ZipTie is showing an increase of 20%, SEMrush 13%, SimilarWeb 20%, and SEO Clarity is 10%. So AI overviews are on the uptick, which I think is so dumb because it's such a crap product. And you have AI mode,
Yeah.
and you're going to train people on the stupid AI overviews, and then you're going to have to retrain them on AI mode. Just get rid of it. It's so dumb.
You're mad today. It's the thick water.
It's the thick water. It just feels so strange. Google is also updating some Merchant Center product specifications, mainly on the down payment and installment attribute within pricing. There's also new energy efficient class attributes that were replaced in EU countries, and then some new shipping attributes. So those will go in effect on April 10th, which was earlier this week. And then on July 1st, there's going to be guidance on member prices where you won't be able to put a member price in the price or sale price. It has to use the loyalty program attribute. And then there's some changes to tax attributes. So head on over to Search Engine Roundtable if you want all of that. And then we have some late breaking news here where the Search Analytics API will now support hourly data. So this came out on Wednesday the 9th. And if you are looking to pull hourly data from the Search Analytics API, you now will be able to. So all you SEOs can rejoice. And that is it in organic. What's happening in social, bud?
All right. First up here in social, in case you didn't notice, TikTok is still live. Last Friday, the president posted on Truth Social. I don't know if there's a word for that. Truthed.
And what's your handle over there, Jess?
At real Donald Trump. He posted that he was extending the deadline for another 75 days to keep the app from going dark while they continue to work through a deal. And I love this. He ended his post with, "Thank you for your attention on this matter." Like, that's so formal, and you're welcome. We are paying attention. Figure it out so we can be done talking about it.
It's a very important matter. Some say the most important matter.
Is it a fantastic matter?
Does he say fantastic too?
He does, doesn't he? I think
It's a fantastic matter.
He just
Even
loves
if he
an
doesn't.
ad.
Many people
Oh, that
wish
was good.
that we had this matter in their country, but it's our matter. Fantastic
better.
matter.
It's getting
He
better.
always gets better as he carries on. It's so
A
good.
little thing about groceries goes in the bag.
What?
You seen that clip?
No.
Unbelievable.
That's
Can we
real?
watch this live at
Yeah.
the tables?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't show it, but just show our reaction to groceries.
It's a bag with different things.
God.
Groceries went
Putting the groceries.
What's the larger context? Is this a metaphor?
I have no idea.
You don't want large. You just want smaller.
Just take it
contents.
for what it is.
Okay, well, I have to pick up my Instacart on the way home, so I can't wait. Even though TikTok is hanging out for a little while longer, it still looks like Meta is trying to woo creators from the talk to the gram. They're launching an iPad app, which apparently is a huge thing in the TikTok space. I had no idea.
That is extreme.
It is, right? Like, we wanted this so many years ago when we all had iPads. Nobody cares now, but I guess the talkers do. And then Adam Ibags Masseri also noted that they are working on some serious improvements to Instagram Instagram search. You guys,
You had to be there last week. We're not really saying, Adam, I
No.
would never
no.
say you had eye bags.
His puppet, it was the glasses,
Yeah.
but they just put, you just go back to last week's episode because you'll also enjoy puppet renditions of our friends here on the show.
Quite frankly, it was a terrible rendition. Terrible, frankly. The Muppets, terrible.
Well, apparently Instagram search is also terrible, and Adam Mosseri's working on that. There's a whole quote here, but I just wanted to call out the most prolific thing that he said. You can imagine, whatever you use Instagram for, that it would be great to be able to find it more easily.
To find what?
Whatever it is that you're looking for.
Oh.
On Instagram, they're trying to bring their search feature more in line with the competition. I didn't realize it was that bad. Whatever.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, it's because of stupid meta AI.
Yeah, that's
You search for something, it comes up with the meta AI instead of what you're actually looking for.
So just remove that, and
Yeah,
I feel like
then it'll be
we've
fine.
progressed.
undo what you did.
Fair enough. All right, we'll keep it Instagram. This is interesting. I don't know how great it'll be, but it's interesting. They're testing a new way to drive engagement with your followers with lockable posts that can only be unlocked with a code. It's like maybe you have newsletter subscribers and you give them a code and they get exclusive content. I don't know how many people would get excited about this. If you like see that, are you really going to then go figure out a way to get the code? I don't know, but we could play with this.
We should do
We
that.
do stupid things.
I just noticed there's a hair. See that little hair floating on
Oh.
top of the thick water? I should drink that, and it's a lockable post. And you need code THICK.
drink this.
THICC to get
Of course. Threads update here per Alessandro Paluzzi. It looks like they're working on the ability to add multiple links to your Threads profile. So I like that. And final meta news here, community notes have begun to roll out. The chief of global affairs, Joel Kaplan, announced that by Monday afternoon, their fact-checking program in the U.S. would be officially over. No new fact checks, no new fact checkers, and they would be, the first community notes would start appearing gradually across Facebook, Threads, and Instagram with no penalties attached. And when he says Monday afternoon, he meant the 7th, so the future is now. By the way, Snapchat has a new ad format called Sponsored AI Lenses for brands. Per Snap, these interactive lenses let Snapchatters see themselves in entirely new ways, whether that's sporting 90s hairstyles, stepping into the wild, wild west, or donning the latest runway styles. I would have picked maybe different examples, but yeah, okay. And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
Working hard for me this week, we are looking for some new candidates. And before we were using a recruiter, so we weren't asking for cover letters, and now we are. And I just love a cover letter. First of all, it just allows you to like get rid of people who don't submit one. It's like you're not going to try.
90%, yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people aren't like me, but I'd rather read a cover letter than a resume. And the
Me
good
too.
ones, I'm like, interview. No, like, and you can tell which ones are not ChatGPT. I just love it. Greg?
And for me, something working hard, especially in lead gen B2B off hours campaigns where you have a much more aggressive ask for your target CPA or your target return on ad spend, I do think it makes sense to be present for some of those terms and shopping even, some of those products, even if it's not like the peak time. So we use a lot of off hours campaigns to get more value in those times where it's not traditionally as productive, let's say. And if you want to hear more about smart bidding, we have a special announcement because next week we have a special show. We are actually changing our time. You can learn all about it on Friday's show. We have a new set. We have new things coming. That's just a sneak peek. So next Friday's show, we get into the ins and outs of how we use smart bidding. It's something a little bit different from us, but we didn't want to leave you hanging. There will be a Friday show next week, but then there will also be a new time for the show and a new set. So the team has been working hard here.
Is the time a surprise?
Yeah, you got to
Sounds
listen
like
next
it.
week.
It's the last Famous Friday news show, everyone.
Today.
Today.
For me, this is going to sound so stupid, but it's really effective. Meeting agendas. So we have them for all of our client meetings. We show up, we have things we want to speak to. But Greg, this was your suggestion. Even internal meetings should have things we want to get through, things we want to talk about. And I will say it has saved us so much time. You're more prepared when you show up. You know exactly what you need to talk about. And then when the meeting is over, the meeting is over. Nobody feels like they have to fill time. If you blocked off a half hour and only take 20 minutes, it's like, nope, we got through the agenda. Anything else? No? Go. So it's really been helpful, I think, for us. Now it's time for this week's ICYMI.
ICYMI, people.
This is something you just might not have seen. Maybe something that you overlooked, but you shouldn't have.
ICYMI, people. This week it is from Mike Ryan. Ever heard of him? He posted this week, said, big day, we're publishing our State of PMAX 2025 report. It is big, free, ungated, and it has one simple goal: to help you understand PMAX a little better today than you did yesterday. So this is put together by the team at Smarter E-commerce, and he's added views from top experts, including Greg Finn.
Hey!
And I know we talked about this last week a little bit. There's also a webinar that is happening yesterday, if you're hearing this now. So I'm sure it'll be able to be reconsumed, but I know there was a comment that was on that post.
Yes. So Jenny Marvin commented because there were some points brought up in this. And in her response, I feel like we're getting answers to things that weren't super clear before. Some of them still aren't very clear. So she says there are no plans to deprecate standard shopping. She also said when you have overlapping products in PMAX and standard shopping, they compete on ad rank, which is, in this case, considers the bid, as you noted. But to clarify, that doesn't mean you're in effect bidding against yourself. It just means that the campaign with the highest bid and target will be selected for the auction. It won't result in a bid escalation. So as far as Google's concerned, you can have both going at the same time in your account. She also says that when ads from PMAX and Demand Gen are both eligible to show, ad rank also determines which is most relevant and selected for an auction. The campaigns do not bid against each other there either. So feel free to make lots of campaigns with your PMAX. That's what she thinks.
During that read, Jess finished her thick water.
Oh,
Sure did. I thought I was done, and there was another sip, so I made sure to take it.
you're a true original.
I'm getting the glue vibes that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
delicious.
barely took a sip.
This week's must-read marketing article of the week is over on Search Engine Land by our very own Maggie Humphrey. It's called Google Vision Match versus Traditional Search: Early Insights on AI Shopping Tool. Maggie goes through and looks at a variety of different queries and how Vision Match stacks up. She also puts on her professor cap and gives grades. So she has a variety of different queries, talks about the suggested query of Vision Match. Shocker, it doesn't stand up to traditional search. Non-specified search, like a statement piece, looks at a brand, and then also something that could be a trending topic. And she is like, as in this, she sort of explains to me fast fashion. At least, like, I didn't know what barrel jeans were.
Well, not fast fashion necessarily.
What is a barrel jean then? It's not fast
You mean
fashion?
trendy.
Yeah. What's
Fast fashion is
jeans?
like, it's a
cheap.
bad thing. Like
Okay,
it's made
I
overseas, cheap, and it's bad for the environment.
Well, a lot of the products looked fast fashion.
Those
anyway.
disco shoes? Are you kidding? High
Some of
quality.
them.
But anyway, she'll be over on Search Engine Land blogging about e-commerce and Google Ads, shopping specifically. Phenomenal mind, and check it out. Super pumped to see her contributing to Search Engine Land. Thank you, Maggie.
And now onto our playlist of curated songs to work to. You can head over to playlist.marketingoclock.com to listen to Marketing a Playlist. I will be adding Papa Loves Mambo by Perry Como. I don't know.
What?
What?
Say that again in English.
Papa Loves Mambo.
Oh, I know that
Papa
song.
Loves Mamba?
I was listening
Papa
to the
Loves Mambo,
Marvelous
right?
Mrs. Maisel soundtrack playlist. It's really one of my favorites.
You are a true original.
I like background music.
I'm going to go Fleetwood Mac, The Chain.
Ooh, good choice. I'm going Never Enough, new release by Turnstile.
All right, that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Thanks for listening.
We miss you already.
I can't wait to see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Marketing O'Clock. If you're looking for more information on today's topics, head over to marketingoclock.com/newsletter to receive every single article we covered. We share the news as it breaks in our Discord community. Head over to community.marketingoclock.com to join.